The sky above planet Valari was always soft and golden. 2 suns hung in the sky, warm but not too hot. Wind moved gently over the tall blue grass. Strange birds sang songs that echoed across the hills. Jared was only 10 years old when his ship crashed on that world. The colony ship HFY had lost power near the edge of the Valari star system. Systems failed, lights went out, and everything shook. His parents tried to stay calm, but the ship fell fast. Jared had screamed, holding his mother's hand. As fire covered the outside windows, then darkness. When Jared woke up, he was lying in the middle of a large silver nest made of soft alien leaves. His right arm was broken, his face was cut. Couldn't move. He was alone, or so he thought. A strange creature sat nearby, watching him carefully. She looked like a girl about his age, but her skin was light, violet, smooth and glowing in the golden sunlight. Her hair was white like snow falling down her back. Her big green eyes were kind but curious. She wore a simple dress made of plant fibers, and she carried a wooden staff. "You are awake," she said in a gentle voice. Jared blinked. Where am I?" "You're on Valari," she said. "I saw your ship fall, pulled you from the fire. The others were taken by our healers." "My parents?" Jared asked quickly. "They live," she nodded. "They are safe. But you were far from them. You hit your head and broke your bones. You were alone. I stayed with you." Jared looked at her, confused. "Who are you?" She smiled and tilted her head. "I am Salira, daughter of the High Voice. I guess I'm a princess." Jared stared. "A real alien princess?" She laughed, and her voice sounded like soft music. "Yes, and you are a small, messy human boy." They both laughed. Over. The next few weeks, Jared healed under Salira's care. She brought him food, strange but tasty fruits, glowing water, and warm blankets made of living vines. The Valari people were peaceful and wise. They lived in tall, tree-like towers, sang to the forests, and used nature to heal. Jared's parents were being taken care of in the main city, but Jared stayed in Salira's hill camp. She said he was hers to protect. Salira showed him everything: how to listen to tree whispers, how to float stones with voice singing, and how to run through the glowing mist fields without leaving footprints. She taught him Valari words, and he taught her human jokes and earth games. Every evening, they sat near the crystal pond. Jared would tell her stories of Earths of giant cities, flying cars, oceans, and chocolate. She loved hearing about rain. Valari had no rain. "I want to visit Earth one day," she told him. "Maybe I'll swim in the rain." Jared smiled. "I'll show you. We'll build a house with water on the roof. You can drink it all day," she laughed. "And when we are both grown, what then?" He blinked. "I guess I'll be older and you'll still be here." She looked at him, very serious now. "You'll remember me?" "Of course," he said. Salira leaned closer. Her eyes searched his face. "You'll marry me when you're older, right?" Jared froze. "What?" "In Valari tradition, when a life is saved, a bond can be made," she explained. "I saved you. I want to bond with you. You're kind and funny. You make me feel warm." Jared didn't really understand what Mary meant for aliens, but her eyes looked so honest, so hopeful. So he smiled and said, "Okay. When I'm older," her face lit up like the twin suns. "Promise, I promise." She reached out and touched his hand gently. "Then it is written in the stars." A few days later, a rescue ship from Earth arrived. The humans were taken aboard. Jared waved goodbye to Salira from the shuttle ramp. "I'll come back one day," he shouted. "You promised." She shouted back, smiling brightly. Then the door closed. Years passed. Jared grew up on Earth. He became tall, strong, and smart. He studied alien cultures, diplomacy, and languages. He joined the Galactic Affairs Office. But the memory of the alien princess never left him. He told no one about the promise. He always thought it had been a game, a sweet memory from childhood, a dream. But stars never forget, and neither did Salira. The stars above Earth were bright that night. Jared's mind was far away. He stood alone in the Galactic Affairs launch bay, looking at the glowing path to his diplomatic cruiser. After so many years, he was going back to the planet where it all began, back to Valari. The memory of Celira came back strong, her kind green eyes. Her laugh, the soft touch of her hand when she made him promise. "You'll marry me when you're older, right?" He had smiled and said yes. He was only 10. He never thought she'd remember. He didn't even know what it truly meant. Now he was 25, full galactic envoy, and he was being sent on a mission that could stop a war. The Valari were being pushed by galactic enemies to break their friendship with Earth. Someone had planted lies. Someone wanted the Valari to hate humans. If Jared failed, war might come. The journey to Valari took 5 days by quantum jump. Jared didn't sleep much. He kept thinking, what if she forgot? What if she's changed? He still remembered her voice. Like a song, she was his only real friend back then. Maybe more. When his ship landed on the green landing field of Valari's capital, a group of alien guards waited silently. Behind them stood a tall figure in silver robes. Her face was calm, her white hair now braided with glowing vines. A crown of crystal rested on her forehead. Her eyes still green, still gentle locked with Jared's, the moment he stepped out. He stared. It was Celira, but she was no longer a little girl. She was the high voice now, ruler of her people. She walked forward slowly, never looking away. Jared bowed politely, trying to follow protocol. "High voice Celira, I bring peaceful greetings from you. Promise to marry me when you are older." She interrupted softly. Jared's heart skipped. She was smiling, but her voice was steady. Everyone around them stopped moving, staring at the two in silence. What?" Jared blinked, almost choking. She took another step closer. "You promised. I remember. Do you?" Jared felt sweat on his neck. I remember. But that was when we were children. Not in Valari hearts," she said. "A child's promise is sacred if made during healing." "You were healing. You said yes. I heard it. The stars heard it." He looked around. The alien guards were still silent, watching. Some even nodded with approval. Celira's smile grew. "A little softer. You don't need to decide right now. Come, you are tired. We will talk." Inside the great tree palace, Jared was given food, rest, and a crystal-clear room to stay in. Tried to sleep but couldn't. Her words played again and again in his mind. You promised. Was it real for her all this time? Did she wait for him? Next day he sat with the Valari Council. They were cold, unfriendly. Something was wrong. Jared showed evidence that humans never attacked Valari allies. He presented facts, reports, even holo recordings. Still the elders frowned. One of them finally said, "Your people grow strong. We are afraid you will one day conquer us." Many voices outside whisper against humans. Another elder added, "We once trusted Earth, but trust breaks easily." Jared looked to Celira, sitting on her crystal throne. She listened carefully, but said nothing. The meeting ended with no answer. The council would think about it. That night, Celira invited Jared to the Sky Garden. The stars above were so close, it felt like they could fall. She stood by a glowing tree, her long robe dancing in the soft wind. "I tried to defend your world, Jared," she said, "but fear spreads quickly. They don't listen to me like before." "But you're their ruler," he said. "Even rulers have limits," she replied, "unless we make the bond official." Jared stared at her. "What bond?" She turned slowly to him. "The marriage promise. If we join by bond, it becomes more. Then memory, it becomes law. Our people will be united by heart and treaty. No council would dare break that." Jared stepped back. "Wait. Are you saying yes?" she said calmly. "Marry me, and peace will stay between our worlds. I did not call you here just for that. I trust you. I always have. But this is the path." He looked at her. The girl he once knew was now a woman with power, grace, and beauty. But also, she was still Celira. She had waited for him. "Did you really wait all this time?" he asked, voice low. She nodded. Others asked. I refused. I knew you would return. I knew the stars had chosen us. Jared's mind raced. This was bigger than feelings. It was politics, peace, war, all tied to a promise from childhood. He didn't know what to say. She stepped closer. If you say no, I won't be angry, but they may break the alliance. I'll lose power, I'll lose you. Again. I need time, he whispered. Salira looked into his eyes. Then take it. But not too long. Time moves fast, and war waits. For no heart. Later, Jared walked alone through the garden, under twin moons. He sat by the pond where they once played. He remembered her voice, her laugh, her promise. She had kept it. Now he had to decide if he could too. The palace garden was quiet in the morning light. Birds flew across the sky, their wings glowing softly in the golden mist. Jared stood alone near the crystal pond, staring at his reflection. He didn't look like the same boy who once played. With Salera beside these waters, he was a man now, a human envoy, a decision-maker. But his heart felt like that same confused boy again. Salera had asked him to marry her not just for love, but for peace, for her people. For his people, it was a heavy weight. Later that day, Jared met Salira again in the council chamber. She looked calm as always, but her eyes showed something deeper. Hope, worry, maybe even fear. We are running out of time, she said softly as they walked through the crystal halls. The council is listening to the whispers of the Sarai. Jared narrowed his eyes. The Sarai. They're enemies of both our worlds. They started 2 wars last decade. Yes, Solera said. And now they are spreading lies. They want Valari to break all contact with humans. If that happens, the Sarai will offer a false alliance. It will trick us, control us. Earth will lose its only real ally in this part of the galaxy. Jared felt anger building. And the council doesn't see this. They're afraid, Solera said. Fear makes people blind. Jared took a deep breath. Then let's show them the truth. I'll find proof. Let me speak to your records keeper. But Salira shook her head. You can try. But unless something big changes their minds, they will still vote to cut ties with Earth in 2 days. He looked at her, and if I agree to the bond, to the marriage, she looked back at him, eyes soft. Then the council will have to accept you not just as a guest, but as part of our ruling bloodline. They won't be able to vote against you. Jared felt his stomach twist. And you? Is this just duty to you? Salira stepped closer. I never forgot you, Jared. I didn't wait just because of tradition. I waited because I cared. I still do. He didn't answer. Not yet. Jared spent the next day digging through Valari records with help from a young scholar named Ilion. They searched ship logs, communication reports, and border alerts. Then they found something. A hidden message. A false report placed into the Valari data system 3 weeks ago showed Earth ships attacking a neutral outpost, except the outpost never existed. It was a fake signal created by someone using Sarai tech. It's a trap, Jared whispered. They forged this data to turn Valari against Earth. Ilion nodded. But it was done carefully. If you accuse the council without full evidence, they will turn on you. Jared copied everything to a crystal disk. Then I need someone who already trusts me. That night, Jared showed the data to Salira. She studied the message carefully, eyes sharp. This is enough to start an inquiry. But it won't change minds fast enough. They already plan to vote. Then we bring it straight to the people, Jared said. Let them see the truth. That could cause panic, Salira warned. We need a strong symbol, something that will unite everyone, something bigger than a report. Jared knew what she meant. The marriage bond. A public joining of Earth and Valari bloodlines. He looked at her again. The girl from his childhood was now a powerful leader, and yet she still looked at him like he mattered. I don't want to marry you just to win, he said. Solera smiled a little. And don't. Do it because you want to. Do it because you care. He took her hand slowly. I think I already do. Next morning, Slayer called for an emergency gathering of voices, the highest public meeting in Valari tradition. Thousands came to the grand sky field. Floating platforms carrying leaders from every region. Jared stood beside Salira at the center, his heart pounding. Salira raised her voice so all could hear. People of Valari, the stars have brought us back together. Many years ago, this human came to us broken and afraid. I saved him, he promised. To return, and he did. Soft murmurs filled the air, she continued. Now danger returns. Lies threaten our friendship. But the truth is clear. She raised the crystal disk, and Elien's report was shown in the air above them. Proof of deception by the Sarai, she declared. They seek to divide us, but we will not break. Not today. Then she looked at Jared. He stepped forward. I made a promise to Salira long ago. I didn't fully understand it then, but now I do. And I make it again, with full heart and open eyes. He took her hands. I will marry you. Not for politics, not for power, but because I choose you. Because I believe in you. In us. The crowd went silent. Then slowly cheers rose into the sky. Voices from every corner shouted words of unity. Songs began. The council stood in shock, then slowly bowed. Salira's voice rose once more. The bond is made. Let the stars witness it. And the stars, watching above, were silent witnesses to a promise finally fulfilled. That night, the city glowed with celebration. Jared and Salira stood on the palace balcony, the twin moons shining over them. You really came back, she whispered. I really did, he said softly. And this time, I'm not leaving. They stood side by side, their hands linked, their worlds united. But deep in the dark, the Sarai watched, and they were not pleased. The night was dark, but the palace lights on Valari shone like stars themselves. Jared and Salira sat in the private council room. The large windows showed the quiet city below, peaceful but watching. They both knew danger was close. Though the public had accepted their bond, the war threat had not disappeared. The enemy was clever. The Sarai syndicate was hiding in shadows, ready to strike. Jared opened the data crystal. The false attack report was only the start. I found encrypted messages from Sarai spies inside your government. Eyes narrowed. I suspected this. They want to break our alliance by any means. Suddenly the door hissed open. Ilian, the young scholar, hurried inside. We found something, Ilian said, out of breath. Sarai ships are gathering near the border. They plan an attack within hours. Jared stood quickly. We have to warn the council immediately. Salira nodded. No time to waste. The council chamber was tense. Some elders whispered. Others stared at Jared with suspicion. Salira spoke firmly. The Sarai plan to attack us, to force a war with Earth. This is their last attempt to divide us. One elder sneered. How can we trust you, human? Maybe this is a trick. Jared met the elder's gaze. If you doubt, then come with me. I will show you the evidence. He led the council members to a hidden room beneath the palace. Their holomaps showed Sarai fleets massing. The elders gasped. This is proof, Jared said. We must prepare defense together. The council murmured. Some still hesitated, but Salira's presence gave strength. Back in the council room, Jared and Salira planned their next move. We must act fast, Jared said. If the Sarai attack first, many will die. Salira nodded. I will call the Valari fleets and send messages to Earth's Defense Command. They must stand united. Jared looked at her, admiration growing. You are strong. I'm proud to fight by your side. Salira smiled softly, and I am grateful to have you. As preparations began, a new problem appeared. One of Salira's trusted generals, Varlin, approached Jared privately. I am sorry to bring bad news, Varlin said quietly. But there are spies in our ranks. I fear not all Valari support this union. Jared frowned. Who do you trust? Varlin shook his head. I cannot say yet, but watch your back. The enemy is closer than we think. Jared felt a chill. This war was not just outside. There were battles inside the palace too. That night, Jared and Celira met in the secret garden. The air smelled of jasmine and rain. I fear the war is not only with the Sci-Fi, Jared said. We must be careful who we trust. Celira took his hand. I will protect you, Jared, and together we will protect Vallari. They looked up at the stars. For a moment, all was calm. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the palace. Sci-Fi ships had attacked the border fleet. HFY warships scrambled into the sky. Jared and Celira rushed to the command center. The battle was fierce. Bright blasts lit the dark space as Vallari and Sci-Fi ships clashed. Jared helped coordinate defense. Using human tactics combined with Vallari strategies, Celira led the flagship with courage, inspiring her people. After hours of fighting, the Sci-Fi fleet began to retreat, but the cost was heavy. Many ships were lost. Many lives lost. Jared stood beside Celira on the bridge, looking out at the stars. This is just the beginning, Celira said softly. Jared nodded. But we have shown them that together we are strong. The next day, the council met again. This time, the voices of doubt were quieter. The Sci-Fi had tried to divide, but their attack failed. Celira spoke proudly. Our bond with Earth is not just a promise, it is a shield. Jared smiled. We fight not as two peoples, but as one. The council voted to strengthen the alliance. Peace was saved for now. That night, Jared and Celira stood on the palace balcony, hand in hand. You kept your promise, Jared said, and you kept yours. Celira smiled. The war was far from over, but together they had hope. The stars above twinkled softly, watching the new future they would build. The morning sun rose slowly over the Vallari capital. Light spilled across the crystal towers and the bluegrass fields. Today was not just any day. It was the day Jared and Celira would join their lives before all the people. The palace buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Word had spread fast. The marriage of a human and Vallari ruler was something no one had seen before. It was a symbol of peace and hope, but also a challenge to many traditions. Jared stood in his ceremonial robes. The fabric was soft but strong, embroidered with silver threads that shimmered like stars. His heart raced. He looked at his reflection in the mirror. He saw not just a diplomat, but a man ready to take a new path. Celira appeared beside him. Her white hair was braided with tiny crystals that caught the light. She wore a flowing gown made from glowing fibers that changed color with her mood. Now, the fabric shone calm, blue, peace, and promise. She smiled. A soft smile just for Jared. You look ready, she said quietly. Jared smiled back. Because I am. I kept my promise. Today I make a new one. They joined hands, feeling the warmth between them. Outside, thousands gathered in the grand sky field. Aliens of all kinds watched from floating platforms, their faces filled with hope and curiosity. Vallari singers began a soft song that rose like a wave through the air. Celira walked to the center, raising her hands to the sky. People of Vallari, friends of Earth, today we unite, she said clearly. This marriage is more than tradition. It is a bond of trust, of courage, and of future. Jared stepped forward, voice strong. I stand here not only as a human envoy, but as a partner. Together, we will protect peace and build a new home for all our people. The ceremony continued with ancient Vallari rites and human vows mixed together. Jared and Celira exchanged symbols of their union, a silver band and a crystal pendant. The crowd cheered. But not all were happy. In the shadows, the Sci-Fi syndicate watched. Their faces hard and angry. They would not give up easily. As the celebration ended, alarms suddenly rang through the city. The Sci-Fi had launched a surprise attack on the Vallari capital. Bright beams lit the sky. Buildings shook. People ran for cover. Jared grabbed Celira's hand. We must defend our home. Together, they rushed to the command center, ready to fight side by side. The battle was fierce. Sarai ships swarmed like angry hornets. Valari fighters soared, blasting energy bolts. Jared used his human knowledge of tactics to direct the defense. Salira led the fleet's flagship, her voice calm but fierce. Inspiring her warriors, the people fought with courage. United by the promise Jared and Salira made, hours passed like minutes. The Sarai began to retreat, defeated but not destroyed. Jared looked at Salira. "We won this battle, but the war is not over." She nodded. "Then we fight on. Together." In the quiet after the storm, Jared and Salira stood on the palace balcony. The city was scarred but alive. Jared turned to Salira. "Thank you for believing in me, for waiting." She smiled softly. "And thank you for coming back, for choosing me." He took her hand. "This time I promise for real." She leaned close. The stars shone brightly above them, witnesses to a new alliance, a new hope, and a love born between worlds. The future was uncertain, but Jared and Salira faced it together, because some promises are written not just in words but in hearts.